Meet Laevatain, a Sarkaz operator with a big sword and an even bigger obsession for ice cream. But what's the deal with her being a Reconvener? And why is her memories all jumbled up? Well, I'll give you all those answers and more as I answer the question, who was Laevatain actually? Now, I gotta preface, I'm working with nothing but scraps here. Her original self from Arknights, Surtr, was clowned on as potential lore woman for a reason. So to piece it together, let's recap what a Reconvener is. It's more complicated than this, but basically Laevatain is a unique individual clone of herself from the original Arknights. But Laevatain's relationship with Surtr is more complicated than the usual Reconvener. Surtr was found in the ruins of a small town ravaged by a catastrophe, which are Originium-based natural disasters. Hear that, Perlica? A little dangerous, huh? And real quick, Rhodes Island is a pharmaceutical organization that helps out those infected with oropathy, and part of that is sending assistance to areas struck by catastrophe. So several Rhodes Island operators came across this town and found Surtr resting in a destroyed building. Assuming she was a victim, they brought her back to Rhodes Island. In actuality, she was just a traveler who happened to be resting there. After speaking with Rhodes Island leadership and demonstrating her extremely high combat ability, she signed on as an official operator. Her deal with Rhodes Island was the freedom to investigate her faulty memories. And to understand the memory thing, I have to give you a lot of backstory, so bear with me here. Recall Surtr's talking sword from her Endfield quest? Well, that is actually a Farenmut named Surtr. Farenmuts are essentially the gods of Terra, worshipped and venerated in ancient times, each one something like the physical manifestation of the land. For example, the Farenmut of the frigid tundra nation of Sami is referred to as the continent-sized Allfather Sami itself. This is actually the Farenmut that fought alongside humanity during the First Angloid War. And in ancient times, Sami fought and defeated the warmongering, insanely strong Farenmut Surtr and sealed a fragment of it in a sword. That same sword that our Surtr wields today, meaning that Surtr is not her real name. It's inherited. For simplicity's sake, let's set our terminology from now on. I'll refer to the Farenmut as the Sword, the wielder from Arknights as Surtr, and the Endfield Reconvener as Laevatain. The sword has had many wielders over the years, with Surtr becoming the latest when she came across it. And inheriting that power unfortunately means inheriting all their memories. So she has the unholy combination of having the memories of the many past wielders and the confusion of not knowing which ones are actually hers. Thus the deal with Rhodes Island to figure that out. By the way, that sword is constantly yelling at Surtr to bend to its will and become the envoy of fire. She has the strength of will to refuse, and eats ice cream to calm it down. That's right, the way Surtr gets a literal god to chill out is to make it feel the cold of ice cream. She's actually stated to kinda hate sweets. Anyways, if you've seen the Arknights anime, you should be familiar with Meteorite. She's sent on a mission to a village in Kazdel to assist with a cave-in. Kazdel, by the way, is the homeland nation of the Sarkaz. And Surtr joins in because she feels a sense of familiarity. So they both arrive and meet with the locals. And Surtr notes that the houses look familiar, but are also a bit different. They enter a mineshaft, spot the cave-in, and Surtr proceeds to blast it open with reckless abandon. After dealing with the Originium slug nest that caused the cave-in, she comes across some ruins. The rubble of an ancient Kazdelian village that she remembers. And another memory flashes before her. 2 children holding hands, entering the cave. Of course, this memory can't be hers considering it was probably thousands of years ago, but this wasn't the first time she felt this. Surtr has a memory where legendary Night Sisters defeated a bandit who wielded flames. A memory of a dessert shop whose chef died trying to save a recipe during an explosion. A memory of a fight for the inheritance of an ancient city that was destroyed by the fire of a catastrophe. Her research couldn't find any mention of herself in any of those, but she has clear memories of being the source of all those fires. Surtr turns back, having not found what she was looking for, and leaves the village. Meteorite tries to comfort her, saying that as a Sarkaz, it's hard to find a home. She hopes Surtr will eventually come to see Rhodes Island as at home, and to rely on her. Surtr rejects that offer, then asks if they can get ice cream. A later investigation takes Surtr to the Sami ice fields, where a shaman performs a divination. The shaman finds that even the sword doesn't remember where it found Surtr, and then gives her directions to a site deep in the frozen expanse. As Surtr gets closer, she recalls the memory of a city reduced to ashes, of the Farenmut Sami enduring the flaming giant strikes and sealing it away. With the seal in sight, the sword aggressively demands she destroys it. She feels its rage, its humiliation. But Surtr realizes that Sami is simply allowing her to approach it because it trusts her. unlike the sword who keeps trying to use her. And so Surtr says this: "I know that even without my past, I am who I am now. I am Surtr. And now, both your power and your name belong to me. Only I can decide who I am." Surtr turns back, ending her expedition in silence, only stopping to get souvenirs for her friends at Rhodes Island. Surtr's next expedition leads her back to Kazdel, homeland of the Sarkaz. This time to the nomadic city rather than a border village. She approaches the Soul Furnace, the power source for the entire city, filled with the undying revenants of a different age. As Surtr hears the revenants talk her ear off, she recalls another memory. A Sarkaz girl slowly eats the only food she could find in days. A daughter of a Kazdel military engineer. Her parents had sent her away to a faraway land, escaping the danger encroaching from both outside and within Kazdel. But she's attacked by other refugees. She runs away and sees a rock burning a fiery red. She picks it up to throw it, but it digs itself into her palm and she faints from the excruciating pain. Records show that this took place in a village, where a catastrophe that erupted like lava destroyed it all, with the girl as the only survivor. When Surtr comes to, the Revenant asks if she wants to know her past. Surtr shoots the question down, and instead asks if there's an ice cream furnace around instead. After the Revenants basically just tell her to fuck off, her memory leads her to an old house. She enters and finds a broken bed and damaged shelves. Exactly the home as she remembers it, but it didn't feel like home. When a drunk man chases her away for being in his house, Surtr becomes lost in thought. A place you can always return to. A place that will always accept you, no matter what you've become. A place that does not try to bind you to it, but is simply there. What is that if not home? And so, Surtr returns to Rhodes Island. She'll continue her travels, but no more will she search for her past. So far, we've gone through many memories. Some that are clearly not Surtr's, but others that seem closer to the truth. And I'm here to offer an interpretation. If you read between the lines, I believe that none of these memories are originally Surtr's, but even if one of them are hers, what does that matter? The thematic point of Surtr's long journey is that she had already found her home, and when she came to realize that, she enjoyed the remainder of her life at Rhodes Island. And that parallels exactly what Laevatain goes through in her companion quest. To Laevatain, her story is an identity crisis, from the inheritance of all those jumbled memories, to finding a way to differentiate herself from both those memories and from Surtr herself. And so she finds her home in Endfield Industries. Of course, Laevatain is still a Rhodes Island operator and helps out when needed. According to her operator file, she is sometimes dealing with demons in the north, which is a whole other story that we don't know much about in the context of Endfield. But yeah, that's all we know. I appreciate y'all watching. I know Surtr's life story is confusing, so thanks for bearing with me. Also, now that we see Yvonne has a character quest, I'm willing to bet Gilbert is gonna get one too. As soon as that drops and I play through it, expect another Reconvener lore video about her. Alright, that's everything. Peace!